Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. As you may or may not be aware, I uploaded a video a couple of days ago actually trying to predict the EU Full Cup closed qualifier, which was played half an hour up after my upload. So my predictions became irrelevant pretty quickly. I did leave it kind of last second, it was like a last second idea to make a video on. I wanted to do it, so I just quickly did it. As you can see here, this is the actual table on how it finished in the end. Take a look. EG finishing top, Aogiri second, Solary third. So that's the top three. We'll just flick over to mine. So this is what I predicted. I actually got the top two right, but in the wrong order. And Solary did go through. I've got Monkeys as well. We'll go back to mine. So this is now mine. Monkeys and Vitality. So I've got 5 teams correct in the top 8, which is alright. That's not bad. But if we'll stay on this is the real table. This is the actual results. As you can see, Team Go having a really strong showing in their closed qualifier. Team Go consisting of Whiskey Drink, Ukis, and Econ, if I am not mistaken. They didn't have the easiest run either. Okay, they did lose to EG. They beat who have they beat down here? They beat the Old Farts team. And they beat Heat and Vitality, 2 teams who did actually qualify. Heat were the Dark Horse team for me. I actually had them, we'll flick over to mine here, I actually had them just going out in 9th here. If we go back to the actual results, they got through in 7th and they actually beat Williams Resolve in their final game, who I had as a strong showing, a strong team, and they actually didn't make it through. They finished 9th overall, losing to the likes of Solary and Heat, who both went through. So yeah, a little bit disappointed from Williams Resolve because I think they are a decent team. And I know Breezy wasn't too happy with himself on Twitter afterwards. The other teams that I had going through that didn't quite make it were Sonics, who finished 14th, and Endpoint, who finished last. Really not a good showing from both those teams, but like I said, in my prediction video, this thing is absolutely stacked. You know, these teams are all pretty close in terms of skill level. The only top 2 teams I had were, I know EG, I think I might have said Vitality as the top 2, but I think it's quite clear that Aogiri are top 2 of EG out of all of these teams. Although I did predict Aogiri to finish top, in my eyes, EG and Vitality should be the top 2 teams out of all these. EG definitely are top 1, I think. Clearly proving that as well. No, Norton, I don't want to do an update. Yeah, EG clearly top 1. Aogiri not too far behind. They did have a little bit of an easier run than EG, I would say. Or did they? Yeah, I mean, EG had to beat Team Go, who qualified, and had to beat Vitality, who I think are, or should be second to EG. Aogiri, who did they face? Zoom, Ones, and Monkeys. So Monkeys probably their toughest game, although actually they beat Monkeys 3-1, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, you guys know how that all panned out. What I'm going to do now we've got the actual proper seedings, the proper results, we're going to go to the main event here, which gets played on the 28th of October. So in 3 days' time of this recording, these games will be played right here. I'm just going to double check I'm on the right one. Yep, I am. Okay, good. So yeah, we're just going to go through and predict these. Tell me what you guys think of the predictions at the end of the video. I would like to know what your predictions are, what you think will happen in these games. Personally, I think game 1, Oxygen and Turbo Clappers. I do forget who's on Turbo Clappers actually. Let me go and check, hold on. Okay, so we're on Liquipedia here. I've got all the teams up. Turbo Clappers is the Hibs team with Dying and Lasa. Again, not sure how to say that. They qualified and they qualified 8th, yeah, so they only just made it through. But a pretty good showing from them. They didn't have the easiest matchups. They had slightly easier matchups, I should say. But yeah, we're going to go and start predicting now. So I think Turbo Clappers, yep, they did make it through the closed qualifier run. But Oxygen are just looking like the best team in EU right now. And so I have to give them the 3-0 there, I think. I just think they're looking so strong in comparison to pretty much everybody else, to be honest. I mean, they're a little bit ahead of everybody else at the moment. I'm not sure who I really have second and third. I think Carmine Corp probably are second best at the moment. It's very close between Carmine Corp and Moist. I think on their day Moist can be better, but at the moment Carmine Corp getting the better of Moist, as we know. Second game between Carmine Corp and Heat. I do really rate Heat. I do rate them. I know I didn't have them going through, but I do rate them. I do think they're a solid team. Do I think they have enough to take down Carmine Corp? No, I don't. I just think Carmine Corp are a stronger team. Simple as that. I am going to give a game to Heat though. I will give a game to them. I think they'll be well up for this. They seem like the type of team that will just come into this well up for it and willing to give a proper go to every team, no matter what team they're playing. I think they're going to give it their best. As should every team here. I'm sure every team will have the same mindset. The third game, well, all these games will be played at the same time, but the third game for me to predict, Moist Esports against Team Vitality. I do think on their day, Team Vitality can shock some teams, but they're just very inconsistent. Do I think they can shock a team like Moist? Maybe. Moist probably aren't at their absolute best yet. They're still probably trying to bed their team in. Obviously, losing Vatira is a big loss, so it's a big gap to fill. They do look good with Astral. Do they look good as they did with Vatira? I don't think they do at the moment. So, but nonetheless, I still think they're going to take this. I still think they'll take Vitality. I will give Vitality a game. I don't know if we'll go and have a look here actually. If we go to closed qualifier results, not closed qualifier, let's go to closed qualifier. As you can see, none of these first games were swept. No games were sweeps. There was no 3-0s in the first round here. And there wasn't many throughout the tournament, to be honest. I think, although I have put a sweep at the top here, I do think a lot of these teams can take games off of each other. I think most of these won't be a sweep, if not any, once again. I do think there's this very strong, very, very strong lineup here on the EU side of things. Quadrant, really cool to see Quadrant in Rocket League. Shout out Lando Norris for buying a team in Rocket League. I think that's so cool. They do go up against Team Go, who are looking like actually a really solid team. I kind of slept on them a little bit. They look like a really solid team. Full French roster, which obviously is always a scary thing for anybody. Full French rosters are known for being pretty good. Do I think they have enough to take down Quadrant? I mean, it's possible. Any of these teams can take down any of these teams on the day, right? Anything can happen. Do I think they're going to? Not quite. I think it's going to go to Game 5, though. I don't think Quadrant look... Alright, they did get a top 4 finish Quadrant, and I think they can be a really good team. They already are a really good team, but I think they can be a really consistently good team. Do I think they're quite consistent at the moment? Not sure. I don't think so. We need to see a bit more from them, I think. Cash is a brilliant player. I think he's going to be one of the best in the world on his day. And I've always rated Ixo as well. I mean, he's been around a while now as Ixo. I've always rated him, and obviously Relating Wave, one of those solid players you can rely on. But I do think that would be quite close. So yeah, I've got that going to Game 5. So we'll see. We'll see. Team BDS next up against Solary. I just have a feeling that this has got potential for an upset. But do I have the guts to predict it? Yes. I just have a weird feeling that Solary are going to upset BDS in that first round. I just have this strong feeling it could happen. I really rate BDS, don't get me wrong, obviously they're world champions, right? You can't not rate them, but they just have this inconsistency about them sometimes. Now, as a team, they're really consistent, don't get me wrong, like they're amazing players. They're definitely the best team in the world. Currently, maybe not so, but you have to call them the best team because they are the world champions, so they are the best team in the world, right? But yeah, I just have this feeling that Solary can cause an upset in round 1 there. I'm probably going to be completely wrong. BDS are probably going to sweep it now. But we'll see. Tundra Esports, which I just need to double check. I believe consists of Casio. Yeah, Casio, Rizex, and Razir is a really cool team actually. Captain Freaky as well. Yeah, I like the look of this team. I think this Tundra versus EG is such a close matchup because you got Casio, Rizex, and Raziers here, and then Catalysm, Ivan, and Tux over on EG. I just think that's such. I find them similar teams. I don't know why. Maybe because they've both got two German players. Maybe that's all it is. But yeah, I feel like it could just be a really close matchup. EG just taking it though. I do think EG just have that bit more about them. Maybe Raziers can absolutely pop off and carry Tundra with his two teammates behind him, but I just think EG as a unit, as a team, they have underperformed a little bit so far, but I just think they are much better than what we've seen, and I think we're going to start seeing that starting against Tundra, and I think they're gonna be a solid team. They're definitely going to be a solid team. Next up is G1, who again I think are such a dark horse team. I think they could be really good against the Monkeys. So G1 consisting of Mark Baye, Atomic Dorito, full Spanish roster, including the coach who's also Spanish. I think this is such an underrated team. Well, I say underrated, we don't really know much about them yet, so we can't really rate them too much because they're quite a new team. But as players, I think they're quite underrated. Full Spanish as well, any team that has all of the same nationality, you kind of just assume they're going to be good because they can communicate well. They know they can communicate in their own language, however they want. So that's always a bonus. Against the Monkeys, which obviously is Arju, Mitane, and Smokes. Yeah, I've got G1 taking this. I am going to give a game. Am I going to give a game to Monkeys? No, I'm not. I think G1 can sweep that. Yeah, I think Gamers First can definitely sweep that with the team they've got. I just think they're a sleeping giant at the moment. I think G1. I do really feel like that they could break into the top 4 of EU, but we'll see. Time will tell. Team Liquid against Aogiri. Aogiri, a solid little team, but Team Liquid, another sleeping giant. I think. Am I blind? Have I just scrolled past them? Oh, I was literally on them. Yeah, I mean, Chronic, Oski, and Atau. It's just like 3 amazing players, 3 amazing ones players. Can they quite gel to be an amazing team? Last year they definitely had their moments. Obviously they came into the season quite late, being young players, but they did have their moments nonetheless, and I do think they can show up to be one of the best teams in the world. No doubt about it. There's so many EU teams that could be the best team in the world or up there with the best. This is one of them. I think I wanted to give them one game actually. Yeah, I'll give Aogiri a game, but I do think Team Liquid are going to take that in 4. They just got something about them. Atau looks brilliant at the moment as well. I think he's like slightly underrated. I know a lot of people do rate Atau. I still think he's slightly underrated though. I feel like he's the name that people kind of look over because they see Oski and they see a Chronic. They're the 2 more known names, I would say. Atau, I just think is a brilliant player though. I think he could be the best player on that team with time to come. At the moment, who's the best player on the team? I'm not really sure. I think they're all kind of even. They've all got points to prove. Not points to prove, but they're all quite similar. I find them quite similar in a sense, in terms of ability. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, as you can see, our round 2 low matches and high matches have now been generated. So we're going to start over here on the low matches. So obviously I had BDS losing to Solary, so they're in the lower bracket here. Turbo Clappers swept by Oxygen. I think they're going to get swept again here by BDS. I think BDS will have, if this does happen, obviously it's a bit of an out there prediction, but if this does happen, I think they're going to have a bit of a wake up call in the low matches here and sweep Turbo Clappers. Tundra Esports against Monkeys. This one could be quite a close matchup, but I do think Tundra are a decent little team. I think this will go to 5, but I think Tundra will take it. Casio, Rizex, and Raziers, I think, just have a little bit more than what Monkeys can offer with Arju, Mitane, and Smokes. I might be being a little bit generous there for Monkeys, maybe only 1. Do you know what? I'm going to go 1. I've changed my mind. I shouldn't change my mind. I never usually try to. I usually just stick to what I put, but I've changed my mind there. I'm going to give him 1 game instead of 2. I think Tundra can win that comfortably. Next up, quite an interesting matchup here, actually. 2 of the teams that I probably slept on a little bit, especially Team Go. Both full French rosters as well, going head-to-head here. So that's pretty cool. Team Go looking slightly better team. I mean, if we go to the closed qualifier, as you can see, sorry, I wanted to go to the closed qualifier results. Here we go. Team Go finishing 4th, Heat in 7th. So Team Go actually did beat Heat 3-1 in the closed qualifier. Who had the harder run though? I'd say Heat probably had the slight harder run, probably because they had to play more games. Solary, Vitality, Go, not sure who that is, and that's old farts actually, and then beating Williams Resolve. Oh, this is going to be a tough prediction. This is going to be a close one. I'm going to edge it for Team Go. I think it'll be closer than their closed qualifier matchup, which obviously, as we know, we just saw was 3-1. Yeah, I think Team Go will still win that. I think they'll still take that. I've given Heat another game in comparison to their closed qualifier result, but I still think Team Go could take that. So we put 3-2 for that. And then Aogiri here against Vitality. Ooh, that's a dodgy one as well. That is a dodgy one. Aogiri are a good team. They are a good team. Do I think they're better than Vitality at the moment? Yeah, I think they are. I'm going to give that a 3-2 as well in favour of Aogiri. So that's going to go to 5. So Vitality not getting off to a great start. It's definitely not been the easiest start for them to go from Moist to Aogiri. But yeah, I think that's what will happen. So that's what I'm going to put. Okay, round 2 higher matches. Oxygen against Solary. Oxygen just looking like they're playing for fun at the moment. The way they're flowing together, there's so much flair in that team. It just looks kind of effortless sometimes for them, especially Archie and Joria's bouncing off of each other. I mean, it's just like effortless for them. And then Oli bringing them up and bringing up the clutch plays every now and then, just being that kind of rock for the team. I think this will be another sweep. I do think it'll be another sweep. I just don't think Solary have got what it takes. Unfortunately, I do really like the players on Solary. Yes, I've got them beating BDS, but I just feel like BDS are quite, what's the word? We've seen them lose games before, right? That they should be winning. And they're quite open to dropping games. And I just think it's going to be one of them series with BDS where they lose. When they shouldn't be, really. Although I do have them bouncing back, of course. But yeah, I think Oxygen will comfortably beat Solary. I have no doubt in my mind. Next up is G1 against EG. G1, the full Spanish roster. Marked by ex-BDS player, as we know. I think G1 definitely are the slightly stronger team here. I say slightly, I think they're... Yeah, we'll go slightly stronger. I do think now it won't go to 5, I don't think. I think we'll put this as a 3-1 in favour of gamers first. Just think they're a better team. Simple as that, really. I think they're a better team than EG, and they're going to take it. Do it in 4. Carmine Corp up against Quadrant. Carmine Corp, a bit of a question mark still, or they did finish top 2 in the previous event. They're looking pretty good, especially with the addition. Well, obviously, they switched their entire roster. So, no, they haven't. They still have Itachi. And they swapped out Astral and Noli for Vatira and, oh my god, my mind's going blank. Exotic. Exotic is a really good player. I think he's a little bit underrated, actually. And obviously, Vatira, we know, he's rated because he's a very, very, very good player and everybody knows he is. Yeah, I think they're going to be too strong for Quadrant. I'm going to give Quadrant a game. But I think Carmine Corp would just be too strong. Too fast and too strong. Simple as that. Moist up against Liquid. These guys have had some battles already. This one I think is going to be really close. But I am going to try and be as unbiased as possible. I'm still going to put Moist to win. I do like Moist, as people may know I do like them. But I just think they'll have just what it takes to beat Liquid. I do think Liquid are going to be a really good team, though. I do really believe they're going to be a great team. I mean, they already are, but they're going to get even better. Okay, over here in the round 3 lower matches, so these matches have generated down here now. Vitality against Turbo Clappers. Some upset potential here, I think, especially if Vitality have lost their heads at this point. Do I think Turbo Clappers will win that? Nah. I think Vitality will bounce back. They're going to have a couple of losses, tough losses. This one's going to be a close one with Aogiri. They'll bounce back and win this in the low matches against Turbo Clappers. Up next is Heat against Monkeys. This is a really tough one. Two teams I rate, I would say fairly even. Maybe I'd slightly edge Monkeys, but Heat have proven me wrong so far. And because of that, I'm now going to side with them and have them beating Monkeys in a round 3 low matches. I think that's definitely a possibility. I think Heat are quite an underrated team. Like I've said previously, Parker and Faris had a really good tournament at Gamers 8 when they had Raziers in their team as a step in. I thought they were brilliant. I thought they were really entertaining. Juicy I don't really know too much about. It is Juicy, isn't it, the third? Let's have another look just in case. Yeah, Juicy is their third. I don't really know too much about him, but they looked pretty good. They looked pretty good in the closed qualifier. So, yeah, we'll give them the slight edge over Monkeys. I think Monkeys will have a disappointing run and bail out in 3. Team Liquid up next against Team Go. Some upset potential here. I do want to try and give some teams edge. There's always going to be upsets, right? You can't just always go with the best team. Okay, Liquid are probably the best team here. But you can't always just go with them. Or any best team. You can't always just go with the best team. Although, saying that, I am going to at this point. I do think Liquid have just a bit too much for Team Go. Simple as that, really. Next game, Quadrant and Aogiri. Now this has some strong upset potential. I do quite rate Aogiri. I do think they're a half decent team. Quadrant, I'm not sure about. I'm just really not sure about Quadrant yet. Was it a little bit of a honeymoon stage last event? You know, getting brought out by Quadrant, finishing top 4. Maybe. I'm still not too sure about this team. Like, I'm not 100%. I like all their players, and I think they're all great players, but I'm just not sure about them yet. And because of that, I think there's some upset potential between Quadrant and Aogiri, and that's why I'm going to give Aogiri the win in 5. I think a lot of people will disagree with me there. But that's just my prediction. That's just my opinion. That's just what I think is going to happen. It's likely that none of this is going to happen. So we'll just see. But yeah, round 3 mid-matches then. EG and BDS, really interesting matchup. This one also has potential to be upset. I keep saying that. I need to stop saying that. Because any game has potential to be an upset, right? Anyone can beat anyone on the day. We've seen it tons of times. I am going to give this one to BDS though. I'm going to give it to them. I actually wanted to put 1 there. I'm going to give it to them in 4. I think they'll win that reasonably comfortably. I do like EG as a team. I just don't think they've got what it takes to beat a BDS who are going to be clicking at this point. Obviously, I had them losing in round 1, but I think that by this point they'll be clicking. I think they'll be better, and they'll start playing a bit better. Next game is Solary against Tundra Esports. Fairy Peak, K-Dot, and Showset on Solary against Tundra Esports, consisting of Casio, Rizex, and Raziers. Quite an even matchup, I'd say. My first thought was Tundra, so that's what I'm going to go with. That was my first thought, so that's what I'm going to go with. I think Tundra will have a little bit of pop-off potential in this game against Solary. I think Raziers can definitely do well against a team like Solary. And so that's why I'm going to put them winning that in 5. It's going to go all the way in terms of games. So yeah, game 5, a win for Tundra. Right, we've got the high matches here. This is where it's going to start getting a bit tougher. So all these teams, well, these 4 teams here I haven't had them losing a game yet. So someone's got to lose. Who's it going to be? Oxygen versus Moist Esports. I do really rate Oxygen at the moment. They're looking like a scary team, effortless. If a team looks effortless when they're winning, it looks like they've not really they've done some special things, but for them it looks effortless. That's when you know you got a scary team. I think Moist were a lot like that last season. It looked kind of effortless for them sometimes. I think Oxygen are looking a lot like that this season, and that's why I'm going to have them winning this. I will have it going to Game 5, but I think Oxygen are going to take that. Next up is Gamers First, aka G1, against Carmine Corp. Again, I just think Carmine Corp are too strong. I think it's just one of those matchups where it's like, yep, Carmine Corp are just too fast and too strong. I can only see that going one way. I'm going to give G1 a game though, but I think Carmine Corp take that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So round 4, and low and high matches have both been generated. Quadrant against Heat. These are tough. These are tough games to predict. All of these games here actually are going to be really tough to predict. Full English roster against a full French roster. I'll try not to be as biased, or try and be as unbiased as possible, I should say. Being an Englishman, but I do think. Oh, do I think Quadrant have enough? I do think of course, they have enough to win it. I think Heat have enough to win it as well. But on the day, I'm going to give it to Quadrant. I'm going to have it to go into 5 though. I think Heat are going to be a real scrappy team. You know, they're really going to take it to some of these teams. I do rate them. So yeah, but I'm going to have Quadrant winning that one over Heat. 3-2. Team Go against Team Vitality, 2 full French rosters once again. A lot of French players around, a lot of young French players. I don't really rate Vitality. I just don't rate them. Like, yeah, I said they were probably top 2 in the closed qualifiers, but I don't know if I rate them still, you know? As much as people are rating, or as much as Vitality rate themselves, I just don't think they're as good as they say. I'm not really too sure what's going on with Alpha. You know, he pops off every now and then, but he should be the best player in the world, or at least one of. And he probably still is, but we've not heard much about him. And that just raises a lot of question marks, personally, for me. Yeah, I'm going to give this to Team Go. I'm going to have this going to 5 as well. But I just think it's a little bit of an upset, although Team Go did finish above Vitality in close qualifier results, so it's not really too much of an upset. But on paper, it's a little bit of an upset. But we're going to give it to Team Go. I think they can take that. Next game is Evil Geniuses against Solary. Another tough one this is. This is a really close matchup. But I do think EG just have that bit of strength about them. Have these guys already played? Did they play in the closed qualifier? No, they didn't. Okay. I thought they did, but I don't know why I thought they did. But they didn't. Oh, we don't want to see that yet. Okay, main event then. Back onto the main event. Tab. EG against Solary. I think EG are going to win that reasonably comfortably. I do think it could be a close. I think all the games will be close, but I just think EG will take 3 out of 4. Simple as that, really. Solary, they have potential to beat anyone, but at the same time, they have potential to lose to anyone. It's one of those teams that could really go anyway. A lot of these teams are like that. Round 4 high matches is G1 starts off against Aogiri. This could be, I mean, I keep saying this could be a close one. They're all going to be close. They're all going to be close games. G1 Aogiri could be a really back and forth game, I feel like. Both full Spanish rosters as well. I'm just going to double check that that's correct. No, I'm wrong. Ocelon's Dutch. I don't know why I thought Ocelon was Spanish, but he's not. He's Dutch. Nearly 2 full French, 2 full Spanish rosters. G1 full Spanish. Aogiri 3 out of 4 Spanish, including the coach. So we're pretty much there. So yeah, but I do think G1 being the slightly better team. I just think they're the slightly better team. I do like Aogiri. And they've gone on a decent run here, and they're still going to be going into round 5. So they will have another chance against one of these teams. Moist Esports against Tundra Esports. I think this is going to be a comfortable win for Moist. We're going to say very comfortable and go for a sweep. They're going to be a little bit rocky, our Moist. Just beating Liquid in round 2, losing to Oxygen. But I think round 4 will be a comfortable win. So we're going to give that 3-0 sweep for Moist Esports. Team BDS against Team Liquid. Oh, this is a dodgy one. Ooh. This is a great matchup though. I hope this does happen. Honestly, I don't know if have these two teams played each other yet in anything important. I can't think back. They probably have. I just can't think. I'm not too sure. Whoa, who's gonna take this though? Who is gonna take it? I think Team Liquid can take this. Again, I'm just not too sure about BDS at the moment. I don't know why. There's just something there. There's something about them I'm not too sure about. I think Monkey Moon, I think, is the best player in the world on his day. If everyone has their day, Monkey Moon's the best player in the world, in my opinion. But there's just something about them as a team. They've got this potential just to lose when you think they're going to win, and then they win when you think they're going to lose. I don't know. I don't think they're as consistent as they used to be. But with the addition of Seiko over Mukbay, I do think it's a better addition, don't get me wrong. And I think they could be a crazy good, I think they could be unbeatable. But at the moment, they're not quite. And I do think that they're definitely vulnerable. They're definitely a vulnerable team. But they're also a crazy good team as well. So anything can happen on BDS in their games. I do think Liquid are going to take this one slightly over BDS. Round 5 matches. So we have BDS against Team Go. 2 full French rosters. BDS, I think, being the better roster. I think that's fair to say. And because of that, I'm going to give them the win. I'm going to give Team Go a game. Because I think they're a good little team. But yeah, we're going to have BDS winning that one reasonably comfortably. Next up is Tundra against Quadrant. This one's a tough one. This one's definitely a tough one. Very similar teams, I think. In terms of Tundra, Casio, I would say he's a bit more of an enabler in the team. I think Rizex is a bit more of a defensive player. I say that, is he? I'm not sure. But I do think they have similar. I think there's similar matchups here, you know. And Razier's obviously being the guy that can make things happen. I think Cash is that guy on Quadrant. Ixo as well has his moments. Ooh, who do I have winning this though? I think it's going to go to 5, but I do have Quadrant slightly edging that one out. I think Quadrant are a top 8 team. I think it's close, but I do think they are slightly there, top 8. Yeah, I'm going to leave it as that. That could go anyway, that game. A lot of these games could go anyway that I've got going to 5, but this one definitely could go either way. Aogiri against EG. Aogiri are a good team. I think this will be really close. Oh my god, I don't know what way to go. I'm just sitting here thinking either team could win this. I'm going to have EG edge in it though. It might be a bit boring. Do you know what? Actually, I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind almost instantly. I don't want to be boring. I'm going to go with the Aogiri 3-2 over EG. And then we'll go over to the main event table. So this is what the table will look like after all of these happen. Obviously, these are my results. It's not going to go this way. It just won't. But this is how my table looks once all my results have been put in. So we've got Oxygen comfortably at the top. Calming Corp sitting just behind them pretty comfortably as well. Moist in 3rd. Losing out to Oxygen there. Team Liquid 4th. G1 5th. BDS 6th. Again, BDS I'm just not really 100% on at the moment. Obviously, they're a top 8 team, no doubt about it. They should be a top 1 team all the time, but they just have these weird games and weird moments sometimes. Aogiri. So this is the team that a lot of people probably think wouldn't make it through. I've got them getting through. With Quadrant just about getting through as well. Both of them going 12-12 on games. So all of their games are really close. But I do think Aogiri have got what it takes to get in there. EG just dropping out. Now this one's a little bit controversial. Because EG could definitely be top 5. But I've got them 9th. I just think that's just how the games pan out. That's just how the games panned out. I mean, it's not an easy run. They've lost to G1, lost to BDS, so losing to Aogiri, yeah, questionable. A lot of people will be like, nah, EG win that. And I can see why. Don't get me wrong, I can see why. But this is how I've got it. This is how I'm going to keep it. And then we can see how it turns out on the 28th and how it's going to go. And then I'll make maybe a little comparison video or something, and maybe watch some of the games as well. That'd be good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Do you agree with what I've put? Do you think the predictions are good? Do you think the predictions are stupid? Either way, whatever you think, let me know what your predictions are. Who do you have going through as top seed? Or who are your top 8? Let me know who are your bottom teams here that won't be going through. Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. That's always appreciated. Do subscribe if you enjoyed it as well. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. There'll be more replay videos like I have been doing, maybe mostly 1v1s this week as well after this video has gone out. So stay tuned for them if you enjoy them. Definitely stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, get subscribed, because it will let you know when I upload. It'll be in your subscription box. Yeah, I'm going to try and upload every day this week. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. To the people that have been leaving comments, I do really appreciate it. I think all of the comments have been positive so far. Couple of constructive criticism ones, which I, again, really do appreciate. It helps me learn where I'm going wrong, what I can fix and stuff like that. Really do appreciate any kind of comment, to be honest, that's helpful. So yeah, to the people that have been leaving nice comments, I do really appreciate it. I do notice the comments. I do try and thumbs up or like the comments as much as I can. Not many comments to go through at the moment. Sometimes there's none, so it's easy for me to see them. But I'll always, no matter what, try and read all the comments. So yeah, if you put a comment, rest assured it will be read, and I will try and reply to them all. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again very soon.